Hey guys, it's Con from Hollywood Studios here, and today we're going to be reviewing Maverick, the awesome Intamin Blitz coaster at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. So, starting off with some of the statistics for the ride, it is 105 feet tall with a drop of 100 feet. It reaches a maximum speed of 70 miles an hour, and that's actually after an LSM launch, which we'll get into later. There are two inversions. There is a 95-degree drop and 4,450 feet of track. So it's a pretty good statistics. The only thing that looks weak is the height. And I must say the height really doesn't affect this ride. I generally do like taller rides, but for this ride you really don't feel it, considering you do reach a max speed of 70 miles an hour. This ride is well known for its really intense transitions, and for me it has some great airtime. So getting into the ride experience, you'll first start off with an LSM lift hill. I don't know if to call it a lift hill or a launch, but it's run with LSMs and it's really quick. So you go up to the 105 foot tall max height before dropping 95 degrees, 100 feet down into a right hand turn, and then you'll go through a couple of those really snappy transitions, and I think they are great. They don't hurt at all considering the restraints are pretty soft, although if you're taller I can definitely see a little bit of pain. But otherwise, I really enjoy these transitions. So after doing a couple of those transitions through rock work, you'll rise up into this really, really strong ejector airtime hill. This ride has some great airtime, and this is where it all starts, other than the drop. This ride's airtime, especially on this hill, is just nuts. You don't come up out of your seat because you are kind of restrained in by the restraints, but the airtime itself is strong, and you feel your blood rush up to your head, and it's just such a cool feeling. After that, you'll go through another turn and enter the twisted horseshoe roll, and if I'm going to be totally honest, this inversion was weak for me. That was probably the weakest part of the ride, because it's basically two back-to-back corkscrews with a bank turn in between the two, and I thought it was okay. I mean, it really didn't do much for me. It was just kind of a filler element, quite honestly. But after that, you'll go into this tunnel, where most people will think the ride is over. However, that's not the case. You'll hear a bunch of sounds that sound like railroad crossings, and then all of a sudden you just start to rapidly accelerate up to 70 miles an hour. This launch is intense. It's definitely the most intense launch I've ever experienced behind a hydraulic launch like King Dakars or Top Thrill Dragsters. But this launch is really intense, and following this launch is a really, really good left-hand turn up into this hill. But this hill does have some trims on it. I don't think they're that bad because it's supposed to be a really nice scenic element, not so much for the airtime or whatnot. So I think this element's pretty cool, although the trims kind of mess with it a little bit. But after that, you're going to go down through a right swooping turn. You'll go through a couple water cannons, and you'll actually go over this really weird element where it's not very banked, and there's not many turns either. It's just like a bit of a straight piece. And that's actually where there was a heartline roll originally, but it put too much stress on the track, so they had to get rid of it. But it leaves this really weird kind of element that I really like. It just kind of, because you're going so fast, you don't really think of anything of it, because right after that, you're going to fly up into another Stengel dive. It is great. You fly to the right, I think. Yeah. And it's just so intense and whippy. I really, really like it. And you're going at really high speeds through this turn. And that's followed by another one, an airtime hill, and then you slide into the brakes. So the second half of this ride is a little short, but I don't really mind it. The ride itself is fantastic. I don't want to go on too long because there's not much else to talk about with this ride. It's very smooth, the transitions are great, the airtime's great. Overall, I have to give this ride a 10 out of 10. It's not my number one, but it's definitely in my top 10. It is a fantastic ride, and for me, it's definitely the second best coaster at Cedar Point. So what are your thoughts on this coaster? Leave them in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.